Recently, we have seen an explosion of Chinese brands becoming extremely popular. We're talking about shoes that people believe are better than the Western alternatives for a fraction of the cost. And this phenomenon has been spreading to so many different categories: streetwear, basketball shoes, casual shoes, and running shoes. The last time I bought 3 of the most popular running shoe models that all of the best runners recommended. But today, I want to find out if those were just outliers. Are they all great through every different category? Should Nike and Adidas really be afraid? So to cast the widest net, I went out and bought as many shoes as I could get my hands on. We're talking shoes from a broad price range: running shoes, comfort shoes, slides, and casual options. So starting from some of the cheapest to the most expensive, this is the Li-Ning, and I'm gonna put the text on screen because I'm not gonna be butchering any names. I don't even know how to pronounce this one. The Jueying 5 Pro, I believe. But one of the reasons why shoes like this are so popular right now is that so many people are frustrated with the prices of a lot of these running shoes from Western brands. It's almost commonplace now for Nike and Adidas to charge $500 to $1,000 for their running shoes. Adidas does this the most casually. It's commonplace for them to release a $500 running shoe that's good for 1 marathon, or those $1,000 Pharrell Williams ones, which we know most people are not going to be running in those. Simultaneously, a lot of people have been complaining about the rising prices and the declining quality, and these cost just $50 to $60. Now, of course, with all of the shoes that I go over in today's video, I'm going to be kind of comparing them to the Western equivalent as best I can. Some of these shoes are so insane, there is no Western equivalent. But these come with a dual density foam, which is something that we have seen plenty of times in different running shoes. The top layer is a lot softer than the lower layer, which adds to the stability. It's a nice thick stack of foam as well. I would say these remind me a lot of a pair of Hokas, although some people who have also reviewed this pair of shoes have compared it to the Super Blast from Asics. But ultimately, the way that these feel on foot, walking around or running in them, feels pretty crazy. These are genuinely great value. They're super comfortable. I think they work best as a hybrid, something that you'll run in but also wear casually. They're not the softest foam shoes. I would say that they go for a little bit more of stability rather than the ultra squishy stuff that we've seen in so many other runners. But overall, a great pair, and for the price, one of the best value running shoes that I have tried. 9 out of 10. But before moving on, I should quickly rate the last 3 that I tried, just so you get a reference point. If you missed that video, I tried 3 of the most popular ones: the Li-Ning Red Hair 9 Ultra. Those are amazing. 9.5 out of 10. The Dynafish Jiangnian, probably my personal favorite. Incredibly light. They feel like an even more comfortable, soft, squishy Evo SL, which is crazy to say because I love the Evo SL. They're also cheaper. 9.5 out of 10. And finally, the 361 degrees, whatever they were called, it reminds me the most of this pair of shoes. Those 361s were just a little bit more comfortable. They had just slightly softer foam, and overall the value was amazing on those. 8.5 out of 10. But to just put this cleanly into perspective for you, how these Chinese brands are dominating right now: Nike in China, their revenue is down 16.3%. Adidas fell from the 2nd largest brand out in China down to the 4th, and they've remained there. And Anta overtook Nike in China for revenue in 2022, and they have held that lead since. I mean, we've all seen all of the stories about Nike and how their stock prices plummeted and their lack of innovation. And there's a bunch of different factors for that, but I truly believe these Chinese shoes are a factor into it. Now, I'm just going to quickly speed run some of the mid-tier shoes that I tried. These 3 right here, mostly in the casual lifestyle sector. Now, I'll put all of the names on screen because, again, I'm going to butcher it. But let's kick it off with this pair from a brand called Xtep. They're pretty popular as well, up there with Li-Ning and, of course, Anta. Now, the main takeaway from this pair of shoes is insane comfort. Like, this midsole is incredibly soft. Some of the softest foam that you will feel. I, generally speaking, like the design. It's pretty cool. I'm not a fan, however, of how there is no rubber traction on the outsole, which means that it's probably just going to wear down a lot quicker, leading to durability issues down the line. Overall, I would recommend these, but I don't think it's the insane value that you get with some of the other pairs of shoes. Like, if you really searched around, you could find something similar or maybe even better, discounted. I'm gonna give these a 5 out of 10. In a similar vein, we've got this pair of Anta shoes. Banger design. I like the look of them. Soft foam, meaning they're quite comfortable. It's a decent deal that you can get on these things. They are about $30 to $50, but buying these isn't as simple as just walking into a store. So I do have to take that into consideration, 6 out of 10. Oh, and if you're wondering where people get these Chinese shoes from, if you can't just walk into a store and buy them, well, it's from a few different websites. First one is Taobao, which is actually the cheapest. However, it's the most complicated to use. Shein is where a lot of people go and where I got most of these shoes. AliExpress is another one and probably the second cheapest, just behind Taobao. And then there's a few other sites like Joom, which is another popular one. Now, just to be clear, I'm not sponsored or affiliated by any of these brands or platforms. I bought all of this with my own money to determine what's really going on here. But that is a common thing. When people see all of this, they're like, where the hell do you go to buy them? Now, what I'll do is I'll link some other videos of mine down in the description where I've gone through the buying process of a lot of these. So you can find it all down there. The last one, and I did say that this would be a speed run, it's kind of dragged on a little bit. We've got this pair. Another pair of Anta shoes, which similarly to the other ones has decently soft foam, but nothing too insane about them. I do really like the design of these, but overall I would give them just a slightly above average rating, 6 out of 10. Very affordable, and I don't know, if you see them and you really like the look, I think it is worth picking up. But again, you can find a comparable version in the Western market. Right, now let's talk about the most impressive ones. First up, the Li-Ning Super Shadow. Now, these are extremely comfortable for the price point. For around $50, you're getting something that genuinely feels like a $150 to $180 shoe from a Western brand. Now, these aren't like your super running shoes, even though they do have a lot of DNA with some high performance models from the West. Like, this cushioning that you have feels a lot like a mixture of Light Boost and Zoom X. Like, it's got that same boost squish and texture to it, but it also has that airy, almost hollow feeling that a Zoom X has. But I do think the best use case for these is kind of like that hybrid, where you can definitely run in them, but they're great as a casual walking around everyday shoe as well. It's a nice stack of foam, it's an extremely breathable upper, plenty of support in cushioning around the ankle area, and overall just an extremely impressive pair of shoes for the price. 8.5 out of 10. But if you're looking for comfort, this is the Li-Ning Soft Go, and I really wanted to find something that was just like max comfort. And they are pretty damn incredible. Definitely up there as one of the most comfortable shoes that I have tried. Now, I get that not many people like the whole laceless look, but if like comfort was at the forefront, like something that you were just trying to get the most comfortable shoe, this is a great affordable option. This midsole is extremely soft, and combined with the slightly stretchy sock-like fit on the upper, it's just a great experience walking around. These are gotta be an 8 out of 10. But affordability, high quality, value for money are not the only reasons people look to Chinese brands. Insane designs, in my opinion, are a huge factor as well. To represent that has to be one of the coolest looking super shoes I have ever seen. This is the Anta Thorn. This design is sick, and it also transferred to the outsole as well, which, man, they just look so cool. Now, obviously, these are very strictly marathon type shoes. I don't think you would want to wear these around casually, even though the design is so good, you might want to. It's an extremely lightweight upper. It feels very, very similar to something Nike did with Flyknit. It has that same kind of rigidity to it, while also being extremely thin and breathable. You've got a nice little stretch to the opening ankle area. Now, when I put these on, I was fully expecting quite a soft experience. However, the foam that they've put in here is not that soft. It actually feels a lot more leaning towards that responsive side. Couple that with the carbon plate that runs through the center of these, and you have a very quick type of shoe. Obviously, they're extremely lightweight, and to shave more off of that weight, they did add a very thin traction pattern, which is basically somewhat similar to what Adidas did with the Evo SL. So it's not like going to be the most durable pair of shoes ever. I think it's pretty interesting, but I'll probably give these a 7 out of 10. But just over $100, it's insane. But here's where things get crazy. This is the Li-Ning Jueying 3, I believe, which is like nothing I have ever seen before. What's even crazier is that this is actually the budget version of an even crazier pair, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, the value for money with this pair of shoes is pretty mind-blowing. You're looking at anywhere between $70 to $100 $200 for these things. And for that, you're getting a pair of shoes that easily feels like a $200 plus type sneaker. Now, the elephant in the room, the giant hole that's in the midsole, damn, you can see my eyes through it. I thought it was kind of like a gimmick or just a design choice, but actually lends a ton to the overall comfort of these. And I'm gonna have to explain this in a way that's somewhat relatable because honestly, it's the first time I've experienced something like this. Just imagine the ultimate soft squish that you would get with, I don't know, the world's softest foam. And that's what you get with this giant hole that compresses as you step. But because of the foam on the front and back of the shoe, you will also get that responsive feeling that a foam gives you as well. So they've somehow engineered these things to feel incredibly soft while simultaneously also retaining a lot of responsiveness. And oddly enough, as wild as these things look, I think they make for a pretty good everyday casual type shoe. They felt extremely comfortable just walking around, and they're not the lightest running shoes out there, even though, you know, having a huge crater in the middle of it definitely helps. But yeah, overall, these things are so cool. 9.5 out of 10. But of course, I gotta show you something even more insane than these. This is the Li-Ning Shadow 3, the flagship version of these. Possibly the wildest shoe I have ever tried on. The hole is now much larger than the budget version, making these feel a lot lighter than those were. You have a new foam in here, which feels a lot closer to something like Zoom X. I mean, you can hear the hollowness if I play it on the mic. Something that if you've ever felt Zoom X, like, you know what that feels like, super airy and almost hollow. Now you also get a carbon fiber plate at the top or the middle, the tunnel, and this is a flexible plastic outsole, which is where you get the insane squish, just like the last ones, but just to a more extreme degree. These come with a much more technical upper, a much more of a stretchy ankle area with a much more breathable upper as well. It's super lightweight and thin. I mean, it's just such a crazy bouncy feeling when you're running around, so much so that I was literally chuckling as I was running in them. Now, for all of this wildness, you will be paying more. These are roughly $200, but if you wanted something absolutely insane and something that you've probably never felt before, I think these are awesome. Now, I will say the casual experience just walking around in these definitely feels a lot better in the budget version, just because of how insane these feel. It's not the most stable feeling walking around in them, but just for the sheer insanity, these things are incredible. 9.5 out of 10. Bottom line is, people are more value conscious than ever. They've noticed all of these bigger brands raising prices and decreasing quality, and that's why they're looking to find more alternatives. And it really makes sense why these Chinese brands are exploding. Most of the world's shoes are made in China to begin with. They have the most experience with manufacturing and developing these different technologies. From my experience testing all of these out, they offer amazingly high quality shoes for a fraction of the cost. But shoes are only half of the story. If you want a deeper dive into the China rise and Nike decline, click that video over there. And if you want to see if Chinese brands are also cooking with the clothing, click that one over there.